RuPaul's Drag Race, Oh Nosferatu, She Better Don't, will not be seen tonight to bring you this special presentation. So yeah, then I fucked it up. So it's okay. Hi, everybody. Hi.
Hey.
Hi, one person. Welcome to our annual Opinion Con. This is Bill Has Opinions. Can't miss Bill shit. I'm Laura Lavoie, and I'm here with Bill Perkins.
Hi.
Who has opinions.
Yeah.
And not only do this is Opinion Con, where we are here to celebrate our opinions.
Yes.
And
exactly.
Specifically, our opinions about Dragon Con.
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
It's a good old time.
This is our 5th annual Opinion Con episode. We have been doing this show for 5 years.
Yeah, you could call it 6 if you consider that the pilot episode was filmed at Dragon Con the year before that.
That's true.
Or was that 2 years before that?
I don't even know, to be fair.
But,
yeah.
You know, that's where we kind of had the genesis of the whole thing.
Right.
So there. Anyway.
So how are you other than getting ready for the big event?
I'm peachy. I'm just trying to maintain that got another day of work before I can, fuck off and do the thing.
Yeah. Today was hard enough. And then there's one more.
Yeah. Today for me was good because I was busy as shit, which was kind of good in a way because it didn't give me a lot of time to think about it. Although I had shit going on. I was still running around the house trying to, do I need to wash this before I go? Yeah, probably I should wash that. Oh, what about this? I need to pack that. I need to make sure that I put these things to, over here and so I won't forget them,
right.
that kind of shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm like pre-packing. I'm not packed. I'm pre-packed. I'm thinking about things that need to be packed.
I can't do that, man. I've had this stuff laid out for the last 3-4 weeks.
Sure, yeah. Well, our anxiety levels are different.
They're very different, yeah. But we are, if you see behind me, we are packed. We are ready to take this stuff out to the car and go. So, Jay, thank you. Yes, Bill, don't forget the beer.
All right. I'll try not to. Worst case scenario, I buy beer somewhere else like I did last year. It wasn't like the end of the world. We found beer.
That's true.
We still got drunk.
Yeah, but you've got good beer.
I do have really good beer. I'm drinking one right now, actually, because I realized I'm not going to drink an entire flat of it at Dragon Con. I'll have some of it, and then we'll also go have beer somewhere else. So,
right.
So I brought 2 of them tonight. And they're really good, by the way, Jay. I'm drinking one right now. It's an Oktoberfest from Boojum. Here's the can. Delicious.
Boojum is it's an underrated, relatively local brewery. It's from Waynesville, which is a little
Asheville out
west
further
of here. Yeah. I had this last week too. We both did, but I have a Oktoberfest right now too, just for
because what you can buy right now.
That's true.
Turns out
which is fine, frankly. At this point, we're going to a fest. We want to be festive, so that's what we're doing. So
yes,
that's where we are with it. So your costume here tonight.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm going to the bunny hut. So I just this is basically what was not packed, right? You were like, oh, you need a costume for next week. I was like, ugh. And then I was going through the box looking for something, and I saw these cuffs, and I had seen these bunny ears laying around from something this summer, and I was like, okay, yeah, all right, that's good.
Well, the first year we did this, we got all dressed up because it was the pandemic year. That's why we did it, right?
Yeah, we did it to in lieu of going to actual.
Yeah, so if you're not in line for the bunny hutch, you're not getting in. That's true. Bunny hutch, for those who don't go to Dragon Con, it is an insane party.
Yeah,
that has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger over the years. But where you dress up as
a bunny or a hef, one of those two things, a variation on a thing, and there's a contest and everything if you really care. And those people have to be there at 4:00 in the afternoon or some shit to get judged or something.
Yeah, it's a costume making contest. So when we just assemble our costumes and put in ears, we're not doing that.
Yeah,
if you make, and some of these people go all the
they did. Yeah, no, I somehow or another, I guess I'm in the group. There's a subgroup for Bunny Hutch. Yeah, I must have joined it years ago. I don't know why, but anyway, I see all the previews because people put I guess actually last week they had to actually post their costumes. Here's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
By Thursday or something. They had
Right.
to have them like, you know.
Yeah, like you don't have to have it finished, but you at least have to be able to show the parts that you're close to.
Yeah, right.
You know what you
And,
have in progress.
man, what a like. Because here's the thing, I would never, and I've always told people like I would never do something like join the 501st or anything because I'm not gonna. I don't have the level of scrutiny. Like I'm doing what I'm doing, and if it's not good enough for you, to hell with it. Like you know, and that's the same thing with any like why I'll never participate in a costume contest because I don't care that much. Like I care like if somebody across the room tell what character I'm trying to be. Great,
right? Exactly.
I'm just here to have a good time. And
That's
drink.
me. That's me. That's what I realized, and we'll talk about our costumes in a little bit. But yeah, that's kind of what I realized. But then after the first Dragon Con or first Opinion Con, when we dressed up because we couldn't go to Dragon Con. Well, then after that, we started having things packed and we didn't want to get, so we started getting, our costumes started getting like less, we're like, I don't know, I'm just going to get some ears. Like,
Yeah, exactly. That's where we're at now.
So I do, unfortunately, our little screen thing is, but I wanted to show you, I've got this, basically it's a basic Last Unicorn shirt. So I mentioned before the show, I feel like the 1980s Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Where you get the smock that has, it says
the title of the
Smurfs, right?
And then you've got a Smurf.
Exactly. So I'm wearing a Last Unicorn t-shirt with the unicorn horn, and I feel like I'm trick-or-treating in the 80s.
Yeah.
So
you should do that this for Halloween.
Oh my God. Well,
just carry in a little bag, you know.
People don't really prefer it when you're trick-or-treating at 50.
They don't like that?
I don't think so.
No. Well, you should go to the old folks' home and do it. They'll think you're young.
That's true. Well, and we were invited to go trick-or-treating with our neighbor and his kid, but which is fine. But I mean, you've witnessed it. I don't want to deprive myself of the one time a year where I'm excited to see children.
It's valid.
Yeah. That's a different episode. That is a different episode. So why don't we dive into our Opinion Con content, because we have made some shit.
We did do some things.
So viewer, I hope you're prepared to watch this.
Have your mind blown.
I hope that was very educational for everyone. I hope it was. It was educational for me. So, yeah. But so that
she's bringing the con crud, by the way.
Yeah, no, I thank God I already had the con crud. So hopefully that means I won't get sick. But I still have. It's been a month and I still have a lingering cough.
Yeah.
And it's not. This is just my lungs. That's what my lungs do. Like there's no congestion.
Well, you just need to stand in the street on a high humid day for an hour or two.
Honestly, it might help. I wouldn't be surprised.
All that heat and humidity will help clear it out.
Absolutely. Well, because when I get this after being sick, it's not congestion anymore. It's inflammation.
Yeah.
So
I get that little tickle in the back of your throat.
And then you can't not cough because then it's worse.
Right.
So
you'll just choke to death if you don't.
But yeah, exactly. But I'll tell you what, the humid ass streets of Atlanta might actually be exactly what I need to knock the rest of it out.
Standing there in a corner contemplating a chicken bone.
Yeah. I mean, the only other thing I could do is get steroids, and I really didn't want to get steroids right before Dragon Con.
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
I don't want roid rage while you're
not that kind of steroids as far as I know, but sure.
I mean, okay.
Anabolic steroids and be like, what?
Hey doc, hook me up.
So
I want to get pumped.
I don't want to get pumped. So I do not want to get pumped. Yeah, none of my costumes require pumped.
Showing the Spartans this year.
So speaking of, I'm never doing that. Although we had some girlfriends that did they did Spartan costumes a bunch of years ago, and they did like like the muscle costumes.
Uh-huh.
And they went to the photo shoot.
Oh, yeah?
Just like that. But my favorite part was they had the shield, but on the inside of the shield was a cup holder. So it was pretty adorable.
Yeah.
So speaking of costumes, I know some people like don't want to reveal what the costumes are going to be until they get there.
I'm usually kind of tight-lipped about it. You know, I usually like I was always like I mean, I would like whatever the group things are. Yeah, y'all would know about that, but I would always like have something I kept close to my chest.
Oh, you did last year too.
Yeah,
but I thought it very funny.
Right. Well, you usually have something like that. Like I'm gonna surprise y'all with this thing, and then so I'm just like very tight-lipped about it.
Well, do you have any you can talk about this year?
I can talk about them all this year because nothing's a surprise. I didn't do any surprise new stuff.
So what?
It's all. Well, aside from the one thing, everything's a rehash, kind of, right?
True. Yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, I'm doing President Snow from Hunger Games, whatever day we're doing the Hunger Games.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
You're
but
not
everybody
doing
else are doing.
Everybody else is doing some Hunger Games. We got some Barbie stuff.
Got Barbie.
We had Barbie costumes from a holiday party last year, and we decided, hey, these are great. We're gonna do them again.
Although I think you're gonna but I think you might do it a different day than we do it because you're doing Hunger Games on the only night that we can do Barbie.
Fair enough. Okay.
So we might be doing separate Barbie, or who knows? You know what I like about my costumes this year is I can wear them multiple times.
Yeah.
Like there's so I can put it on during the day if we want to go out while you.
I'm bringing back my Orville Peck, but also just
the Orville Peck.
The Orville Peck.
Yeah.
But I also just bring in a Western shirt. So if I decide I just want to be Orville Peck.
Yeah.
You know, like when the coat gets too hot.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm going to go take this off and just put on a Western shirt and walk around in that.
Then you go find because there's always rock and roll cosplayers.
With the rock and roll cosplay, I'm going to try and hit that photo shoot, and I'm going to try and I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go over here with Lady Gaga and what's the other the new girl that everybody's
Chappell Roan. Yeah, there are going to be a lot of Chappell Roans.
I'm going to get over with them and
yeah. I'm over here.
That's the side of the thing I'm going to get.
The queer artists or the queer friendly artists. Yeah, absolutely. I say go for it. I think that's brilliant.
But like I said, the only people who even recognized my Orville Peck last year was a group of Lady Gaga cosplayers. Went ape shit when they saw me.
Well, yeah.
So other than that, though, most people were like.
Well, and you're also doing this is a redo. You've done this before, but you're doing Commander Riker. But you're not just doing Commander Riker, are you?
Not just. No.
You may or may not have entered a competition.
I did enter the Infinite Riker games just for shits and giggles.
So if you're at Dragon Con and you have something you need to, I should have brought the schedule in. I should have brought my phone in.
I forgot when it is. I got my phone right here. Hold on.
Nice. It's Sunday afternoon. I think 4:00. I think
that's a good time for it to be. Actually,
yeah, it's a good middle of the day.
That's a perfect time. Hold on.
So
icon. That's not Dragon Con.
I moved it to my home screen so that, but then I forgot that I moved it to my home screen, so I keep scrolling over. I'm like, God damn it, it's not there.
You say it's on Sunday?
Yes, it should be on Sunday. I believe at 4.
Sunday at 4. Yes, Infinite Riker games are in the Hilton Grand East. Sunday at 4:00. So if you got nothing going on that time slot, and you want to watch me do this thing, then.
It sounds like fun times. We didn't know about it until we met some new local Dragon Con fans. And they told us it was one of their favorite things. And I was
actually asked me about it last year because I passed a guy in the hallway when I was wearing my Riker costume who was also wearing and he said, "Hey, are you doing the contest?" And I said, "What? No, I don't know what you're talking about." And he was like, "Oh, it's tomorrow or something." And I was like, "Oh,
yeah, you were doing something else."
I was like, "Yeah, I'm doing something else." But okay, thanks.
But this year we're gonna go cheer you on, and you have some surprises, which I will not spoil.
Yeah, that's what I'll keep close to my chest this year is my surprises.
If you do go to the Infinite Riker games to see Bill compete, it'll be worth your time. I promise.
Yes, sir.
I promise. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Oh yeah, we are the best. Thanks, Heather.
Thanks.
We are the best. We
try.
We like ourselves a lot. Yeah, Matt and I are doing. We didn't plan any costumes with the rest of y'all. Not that like we weren't trying to be like, no, we do want to hang out.
Well,
with you.
I don't like go ape shit for the group cosplay.
You were just told what you were doing.
Essentially, yes. I mean, the Barbie things we'd already done them, so I don't really know if that's a group thing or if we just all decided, hey, we already put this together. Let's just wear it.
That's why we're bringing our Barbie,
right?
For that very reason, because we did it for a Christmas party last year,
right? And we decided we did the same. We got put it together for this Christmas party, and we decided, hey, this is kind of a hit. We like it. It's fun. Let's do it again.
Well, if you want to do it before, like during the day, because they're relatively easy costumes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know yet. I haven't talked to Emily. She has just gotten around to adding friends and looking at the schedule. So I don't know what her plans are, but I am going to try. I kind of feel like I want to hit a couple of photo shoots, So I think we'd be fun. I think it'd be fun for us to wear the Barbie one to the.
I don't remember when it was. I put it on my schedule.
I think I have it on my schedule too.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I think we should do it because me and Emily have one that nobody else is doing.
Yes.
Like of all the Barbies, nobody's doing this one but us. So I'm like,
I even think there might be one or two other people for what Matt and I are doing, but ours are pretty deep cuts too.
Yeah.
So they're deep cut Barbies. But the we're doing that. So yeah, whatever time that is, if it's during the day and it's not conflicting with something, absolutely. The one of them that we're doing specifically is for a photo shoot because we're doing that. I've been involved trying to get the theater group,
right.
And they have a photo shoot scheduled. And the more people that show up, the more it's it'll become a real thing.
I've been giving that some thought. Not that I'm doing it this year, but I've been giving some thought for like another year. Like what theater related costume would I be interested in doing?
Yeah. But yeah, Matt and I are doing Hades Town, Persephone and Hades. And then we also have we've always wanted to have Star Trek costumes. And for a long time we didn't know what Star Trek we wanted to do, but we absolutely love Strange New Worlds.
Oh yeah.
So we bought Strange New Worlds costumes. And I was just gonna be like generic officer, but then Carol Kane's character is so much fun.
Spoke to you?
Yeah, and she has like a bunch of accessories and things that make it extra fun. So I'm like, I'm gonna do her. I'm just gonna do that.
I love Carol Kane anyway. She's just a fun person. She's one of those people
she's great.
Everything she's ever been in, you're just like, oh god, she's fucking hilarious.
So what do you think are going to be the most popular costumes this year?
Oh, this year? Well, there was just a movie that came out that makes me think it might be a little popular because it's always been fairly popular.
That's true. Yeah, well, it has. It's always been very. Do you want to roll the beautiful bean footage?
Do that.
While we do
roll that beautiful bean footage. Deadpool and the Music Man will not be seen tonight, so we can bring you the rest of this show.
So yes, Deadpool, obviously,
and Wolverine, probably.
But because the movie just came out and it was but Deadpool has always been popular.
Oh yeah, no. There's always been Deadpools, just like there's always been Harley Quinns, and I don't know where that's at. I mean, next year I expect
next year will be Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinns again.
Yeah.
Yes. Because then the Lady Gaga cosplayers will want to be Harley Quinn.
Right, exactly. There'll be crossover. But Deadpool, what made it because the movie had all these Deadpool variants,
right?
Which makes the cosplayers, because cosplayers have always done Deadpool variants,
right?
Like sometimes just made up ones, like T-Rex pool, like all
Spider pool, whatever the fuck.
Exactly.
All this crazy shit. But
people are going to be all kinds of Deadpools this year. All kinds of. I think the other ones I think that will be popular is Fallout because that was really popular earlier this year.
Well, and it was. It's. I don't know. I don't want to say it's easy to put together, but it's recognized if you bought just the jumpsuit. That's recognizable, right?
Exactly.
You could spend $80 and get yourself a blue jumpsuit, and everybody knows what the fuck you're doing. I would love to see stuff that wasn't. I mean, and there will be. But everybody's not going to be. What I'm saying is everybody's not going to be a vault dweller. That's probably the easiest costume to put together. But
we know someone that's going to do a different one. I don't know if you know what she's doing, but one of our friends is doing a different costume.
Okay, but I mean, there are other characters that are probably harder to pull off. Even so, that there's a guy actually who Facebook friends with him. I mean, I know him in real life, but not like we don't hang out. But I know him through Batman circles. But he put together a ghoul costume.
Oh yeah, nice.
Jesus, like now that the mask cost him like $900.
I bet it did.
But it looks.
It's also going to be hot as fuck.
Yeah. But no, he's the guy who spends that kind of money on shit, so he doesn't think twice about it. He's actually owns like several latex masks.
Right.
The latex masks, which you can put on and then you can talk and you know what I'm saying? Like they move with your face.
Yeah, you do the spirit gum and you make it all like attached.
I don't even think you have to put spirit gum in.
Some of them you do.
They just fit fucking skin tight and they're like, but anyway, yeah, he got a ghoul mask and it looks fucking incredible. Everybody's not gonna be the ghoul, obviously, but I was like, even the Brotherhood. There are guys who love making armor, you know, like the Halo guys back in the day. Probably those same people will make Brotherhood armor, and or the guys who do the Warcraft costumes, which they can't walk around in. But this one's really slightly smaller than a Warcraft.
Right. Yeah. The
not Warcraft. What am I trying to say? Is it not? It's not Warcraft. What is it called?
The Titan.
No, the thing. Gosh. What are they? Huh? Warhammer. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, that's what I meant.
So
sorry. Yes.
The other thing I think is going to be popular is Has Been Hotel, which if you haven't watched, you should.
I haven't watched.
Great fun. It's short too, so
okay. You think I could fit it in the next day?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Every episode is like 11 minutes long.
Oh, it's that short.
Yeah,
okay.
It's that kind of series.
Okay.
But do you have anything that you think are going to be going to be popular other than those?
Well, there'll be some anime that I don't know about.
There's always an anime we don't know about.
Or a video game that came out that people are crazy. Baldur's Gate. That'll be a thing this year. Everybody's been playing that. That's the big video game, I guess, for the year, right?
Yeah.
Shoot. I don't know, man. Like, yeah.
I really think Deadpool, because people are gonna do things like Deadpool Baldur's Gate. It's gonna be you're gonna have shit like that. You're gonna have unicorn pool. You're gonna have bunny. I'm guarantee there will be many bunny pools.
There'll be loads of bunny pools at the bunny hutch. But yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So normally this time of the episode we like to promote some shit. In the past, we promoted vendors who will be at DragonCon. I did not have time to make a graphic for that, but do go to booth 1616, which is Geek Orthodox, and buy some of their shit.
Yes, because they got some new stuff. They've got an exclusive deal now that we can talk about with the Lord of the Rings people.
Yep, they're about to launch the Kickstarter with that, so we'll see what they've got going on. But 16, and they also have some exclusive DragonCon.
Oh yeah, and he might be doing the blessing of the dice.
Well, yes. I've actually talked to him. It won't be the best thing of the dice, but he's got something up his sleeve.
Okay, he's got something going on. All right. All right.
For sure. But in the meantime, we are not vending at DragonCon because we don't want to pay the prices to sell 4 things.
Right.
But
also, who would buy it? We would be in the negative. We would not get that camera.
We would not.
My God. But hey, listen, folks. If you buy this crap, I promise it'll cure your gout.
But yes, so please scan this QR code, buy some merch. We've got old school logo shirts, we got new school logo shirts, and we've got our entire series of Stay Shitty posters and other accessories.
Right.
So please.
I actually found a couple of Stay Shitty stickers today.
Did you? I found our ribbons. So
yeah, I found a couple of ribbons too.
So we're going to be doing that.
Yeah.
But so all right. Oh, okay. We're actually going to move right in because we're going to talk about a few other things.
Okay.
But I wanted to play our next the next thing I made.
Okay.
Basically,
then. Play that.
I had it later, but then I realized we were talking about the thing before I played this thing, and then that made no sense. So
okay,
we're going to play it now.
Okay,
so
do it.
Enjoy. So I hope you enjoyed our video about the Cortland Grand. I'm very happy with my work on that one.
I think, and we're also very happy with our decisions to move out of the Cortland Grand.
Correct. So that being the next topic is the hotels. There's always shenanigans at all the hotels.
Yes.
But the biggest shenanigan, for us at least, is that we've been staying at the Cortland Grand for I don't know, 14 years? A long fucking time.
Sure.
And thus everybody who goes with us ends up staying there just because that's...
I think we only were probably there for 4, but, but I definitely saw the, trajectory it was headed in, especially after having stayed some of the places I stayed prior to that, right? Because I stayed at the Omni, and I stayed at the Hyatt, and then I stayed at the Cortland Grand, and at first you're like, okay, this is nice because it's quiet.
Right.
But then you start to go, oh gosh, what a shithole.
Yeah, exactly. And the funny part is the Cortland Grand, which formerly the Sheraton, wasn't always a shithole, but it ended up there. And a bunch of before the pandemic, the year before the pandemic, they had an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease.
Right. They caused them to dry out the fountain.
Right.
And put mulch in it.
And I really honestly think, you're absolutely right. If you had a Cortland Grand reservation, you'll be at the Omni now, which is another conversation.
Which I told everybody who was whining about it, no, they did you a fucking favor.
Absolutely. I know you're a little further away, but promise.
I trust. It's a better hotel. Listen, they give you robes at the fucking Omni.
Right.
It's like a real hotel.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Well, and that's the thing. So the Cortland Grand, it was fine it was reasonable for a long time. It wasn't necessarily the most up-to-date modern hotel, but it was fine. And we had little, nitpicky things we didn't like along the way, but they never really recovered from the Legionnaire's disease.
Yeah.
And then it just kept getting progressively worse. And then in that period of time, they got sold 3 times.
Sure, yeah.
And so now we stayed there last year. As soon as we checked into our rooms, we're like, but we didn't do anything because we're like, well, if we complain, which we could.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do to us.
Maybe somewhere worse. The worst thing last year was it was humid, right? Was your room was very...
The room was moist.
Moist, yes.
Very moist. Moister than a hotel room should be.
Yeah, it was a little wetter than it ought to be.
Yeah. And but we survived. We lived through it. We did it. And then we decided immediately we were not staying there.
Nah, let's not do this again.
So we did.
Which turns out to be the
yes.
In retrospect, a very good policy on all of our parts.
Because, as it turns out, the Cortland Grand is still struggling. And up till yesterday, right? They were moving people, what the industry calls walking. But I think there's more to it than that. Which the industry
it's hard to call it walking when you're a good 18 blocks away, right?
But basically they moved a bunch of reservation holders to a different hotel. And often that's done if they've overbooked. I don't think they've overbooked. I think there are a bunch of rooms that are uninhabitable.
Yeah, condemned.
Yeah.
And they overbooked in the sense that they booked the condemned rooms. And then they were like, oh shit, those rooms are condemned.
Yeah, we can't put people in here or they will sue us.
Right.
So that's what I think happened. I realize that's pure conjecture on my part. But
I don't think it's too far-fetched, though, knowing what we know about the place.
I also know that there's an event that we've been to that's usually there in February that already booked a different hotel for next year, and it had been in the Cortland Grand / Sheraton for years.
Right.
I think they see the writing on the wall, and they're like,
no, this place is going to hell. Well, it is, because I really think the management change for sure was whoever owns it now, I'm not sure what that group is, but they just want to collect a check, and they obviously don't want to put any money back into the place, and its days are numbered. Whether it might be open for another 3 years,
sure.
but its days are numbered.
Yeah.
They're not going to sink any money back into it to make it a better place. They're just going to try and grab whatever money they can out of it until such time that it has to be imploded, and then they level it and they put a bigger hotel on that same spot.
Yeah, probably a hotel, but yes. But so right now, like I feel so bad for the people that are staying there and getting bumped and that are staying there and it's going to be shitty. And I really think that like, so they also fucked up last year big time that they never had what other hotels call legacy. Like,
right.
But what they did was at the end of our stay or while we were still staying there, they would send us a link.
Like the second or third day, they'd send you a little
email.
So
anybody who was currently there, we'd get an email with a link and then we could book for the next year. And they did that the entire time. Like, well, our first few years, we actually would call the front desk while we were there and tell them to book us.
Go ahead and set us up.
But then they started doing that. But last year, I guess as everybody was checking out, they said, oh, you'll get the email soon. And then nobody did. Not a single person got that email, but the link was posted online. So a lot of people, I'm sure some people that stayed there before rebooked, right? They were able to rebook.
Yeah.
But I'm betting a lot of the people that are staying there this year are brand new to the Portland Grand because they got the link and they booked it. And I'm very sorry for your loss. Like I'm sorry that you have to experience that because it's not gonna be
honest to God, if you know the hotel, the Holiday Inn, which is a block away from there, would probably be a better stay at this point, and it's cheaper.
Yeah,
or used to be. It was last year. We actually had a room over there for the kids that we ended up canceling, but it's a couple blocks up. It's actually that hotel is a really good location. I've heard it's not necessarily the best hotel, but it's a really good location. For the price, it's
100%. I would totally do that.
I mean, if you're a first timer or something, go stay there. Go to the. I mean, it's too late now.
Honestly,
I'm sure it's booked solid.
I was looking at it because we knew. So now we had to play the Hunger Games to get a hotel because we didn't get that. We didn't have that guarantee.
Right.
And there's a part of us, I think, that I was convinced I didn't want to stay, but there's still that momentum. Like I don't need to fuck with it. So if they had sent us a link, there's a good chance we might have just done it because then we would have just known it's done. But I didn't want to. But that meant we had to start looking at other hotels, and then like it's fast. Like a link goes up for a hotel room block, and people get it immediately. So we had to play. We had to play that game.
We actually had my room group had two for a minute because we booked initially the Aloft because it was the first thing we grab,
right,
and then Jay was able to grab Indigo later, and we let the Aloft go.
And we because I actually had a backup room at a Residence Inn, which was really close. It would have been fine, but I had that. But then before the Indigo, which was my first choice, but before the Indigo went on sale, I was able to get into the Ritz, and I'm like, well, fuck it, I'm going to get into a bird in the hand is worth any of the right. I don't want to wait. And since, we have to book separately, right? I'm like, I'm just going to fucking do it.
Yeah.
And so I did it. So we're in two separate hotels, but we're kitty corner from each other.
Sure.
So I think we're going to, we'll see you as much as we saw you.
Exactly. And we'll sort it out. We'll decide which one of these is better. Or
exactly. We get to see both of them. And then when we want to hang out, we just text each other and say, we're going to hang out.
Yeah.
And we can go to each other's hotels and we can do whatever. So,
right.
So new hotel who this was
we ducked in the Indigo last year to check on it on like Tuesday
on Wednesday.
And
it was empty, but it was gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Oh my God. The beer prices are reasonable for a hotel bar.
The food was good.
The food was good.
Yeah.
I had no qualms at all, which is why we were like, this is fine with me,
And apparently they're doing specials like during the heart of Dragon Con, like starting Thursday.
Okay.
So like there'll be bar specials and things which sound cool. And our hotel has a really sweet downstairs bar that has food and drink. It's not cheap because it's the Ritz-Carlton. But
it's called the Ritz. I mean,
but it's not that bad. I mean, you can get like a $70 burger if you want, but I'm not going to. But you can also get, beers and drinks and yada yada.
Is it Wagyu?
I think so. Yeah,
it better be for fucking $70.
I'm not going to order that anyway. I wouldn't order it anyway. But if you guys, and the thing with those hotels, because they're not con hotels, right, is you have to have a key card to get in.
Sure.
But if you're with us, you can come into ours. We can go into
Right.
yours. Like, it's fine. We can go hang out and check out new things. So
But
other hotel shenanigans.
oh gosh,
Well, the Westin shenanigans.
I heard
Did
they
you read about
changed
that?
it. Did they change
Yeah,
it?
they did.
Okay.
So the Westin, not all the hotels do themes. Actually, it's usually the Hilton that does
Hilton,
a theme.
yeah, always had because they have the big DJ party.
Yeah. But not all of them do, and the Westin never did. But all of a sudden this year, the Westin decided they wanted to have a theme.
Right.
And they announced Harry Potter as
And
their
then they
theme.
got some pushback.
Well, right. I mean, rightfully so. Like, I'm not going to complain about actors that are there from Harry Potter. I'm not going to complain about cosplayers.
Sure.
Because you love a thing. The actors, they were children when they did it. They had no control over this.
Yeah.
But-
And also, none of us knew.
Right. None of us knew
at
that.
the time.
That, in case you don't know the answer to that, J.K. Rowling is a transphobic, terrible
She's a turf.
person. Yeah. Which is
And they
trans exclusionary radical feminist.
right. And no one knew this, of course, at the time. It came out afterwards. And
Right.
so now everybody's kind of dealing with it, reeling with it. And
I have no idea what this is related
the
to.
cow's name is Mitchell.
And what were we talking about? Oh,
Oh, no, wait, no, sorry, it's a Wagyu burger, so his name was actually something Japanese,
that's
probably.
right.
Huh? Mitchell
Mitchell-san.
San.
So you're right, Jay. They did have a theme last year, although their theme was, I would say it's a theme.
Oh, God. Yeah, it's the lightest version of decorating you've ever seen.
They put webs outside. It's what they did last year. I forgot.
I
They did.
forgot. Yeah, I did
Totally
too.
forgot. So they decided
Jesus, yeah.
not to do Harry Potter, which
No.
is good. I think that shows growth and maturity,
Yeah,
right?
They were like, okay,
They're
okay,
like,
we were
we get
wrong.
it. We get it.
Yeah, they didn't push back and double down.
Right?
You're all wrong for wanting something different.
Right. So they switched it to superhero, which is funny that you remind us that it was Spider-Man last year because
He's a superhero.
he's a superhero.
Although technically it was just spider webs. It could have been Shelob was the
Yeah, it
thing.
really could have been anything. It could have been anything. Any spider. Let's just pick a spider from. Yeah, it could have been
Early Halloween.
It could have been Charlotte.
Yes,
It
exactly.
could have been any.
I
of those
think
things.
I saw it. It said what a pig in the web. Yeah.
What a con.
What a con.
And then the Hilton. You wanted to
Mhm.
mention the Hilton shenanigans.
Well, because they had in the past, was it last year when they had the big flood?
2
2
years,
years ago, they had the big flood. Last year was the guy who tried to throw a big room party.
Mm-hmm.
You remember this? He had 2 rooms. The guy, like some wealthy fellow who had
Yeah.
purchased like
2 suites,
Yeah,
huge,
2
like presidential suites.
yeah, like he had the top floor or some shit. He invited everybody to come to his party, and they were like, no, this ain't happening. Oh, also they tried to bullshit with the VIP room upon.
Oh,
was that
yeah,
last-
that's right.
Was that last year?
Yeah, that was last year. Nicola's, which is the restaurant, their like rooftop restaurant.
Yeah, they made it in the Iceberg Lounge.
Yeah, but it was like $50 just to get in,
Yeah.
and nobody went.
Nobody cared.
That
Like,
was
I think one wealthy client was like, "I'll see what it's all about," and they went up there and they're like, "Okay, this is bullshit."
Yeah, and they ended up opening it up by the end of the con. if I
because they were
remember.
making no
'Cause
money.
they're making zero money. You might as well make money on sales.
regular schmoes.
And
Then
it had never been paid before. Like that was never
Hmm.
one of their things.
No, they thought that it was something they could do, and then everybody was like, "No, dude, we already paid $3,000 to be here this weekend. We're not paying to go to the top floor of the fucking Hilton."
Well, right, and that's the thing. Like, and we say this all the time, right? Dragon Con, the membership to Dragon Con is the best value
Oh God, it
is
relatively cheap,
Yeah,
but
but you spend a lot in the other shit in your room.
room and board will cost you
Yeah,
dearly, and so yes,
transportation, depending on where you're coming from, like those things are
it is not.
expensive.
It is not a cheap endeavor, but the con itself is not what's costing you money.
Right. The con is like if you have ever thought, like anytime I see people complain, oh, it's just what for the amount of money we spend.
Oh God! Or the people who are always like 2 weeks out, like, are they going to have Saturday sales or what? And you're like, Jesus Christ! You should have just bought a fucking week.
yeah, buy the 4-day ticket because you're gonna get even if you go one day, like
Yeah.
it's still
Well,
cheap.
and if you buy it the day after Dragon Con,
Right.
it will cost you like less than what it's going to cost you for the one day. later in the year. Am I
Right.
right?
Right, exactly.
So just buy it. And if you decide, if something happens between now and then and you can't come, oh well, you kept a con that you like coming to alive for another year.
Exactly.
That's like
exactly.
at worst, you've helped fund it for another year.
Although-
it's less than the price. It's less than what the PBS radio station you listen to begs
Oh
for.
God, yes, yeah, absolutely.
You know,
and
so-
I do donate to people.
right, but I'm telling you, it's less than that. It's less than the cost of a fucking mug or umbrella or whatever the fuck they're promising you. You know,
Yeah.
and you get all this programming. Look
So
at
much
all
stuff.
the shit you get.
I had a meeting this morning with my business partner, and she was asking me about Dragon Con. She was asking, I'm like, I cannot explain it to you. Like, there's no words I can use to explain it to you if you've never been there. I cannot. But I grabbed my phone and I'm like, so just to show you, and I pulled up one day schedule and I held it up to the camera and I said, this is what I have planned for one day. And it was like every hour, 17 things.
That's actually the schedule is the way I explained it to somebody who I was trying to convince one time to come. I was like, look at this. This is the kind of stuff that goes on.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh shit. And I'm like, and that's not all that goes on. This is the official shit that goes on.
Right.
Like, that's not to mention the stuff that's going on. But I'm like, it's like taking audit classes
yeah.
on topics that you care about.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're like, oh, I like the Flash. I would love to sit in on a class for that, you know?
Well, and I'm doing a panel
Yes.
on the zombie movie musical Christmas movie Anna and the Apocalypse. And it's literally just we're going to talk about what the movie is.
Okay.
Which is a Christmas zombie musical. I'm like, how is that not amazing? But anyway, like, yeah, you can get something on everything.
Oh yeah, whatever. I mean, I go through there, and like you said, you wind up putting so many things on your schedule. Like you'll have overlap. Like you I want this, and I also want this, and it's like you can't do both things. And I'm like, yeah, but you can put them both on the schedule, and I can decide.
Yeah, I can decide last minute.
I can decide the last minute that I'm actually drinking beers with my friends, and I'm not going to do either one.
Exactly, which is what ends up happening a lot of the time. I just don't do any of it.
Yeah, but you'll be like pulling it out, and you're like, "What's going on now?" Oh yeah, I can't. Well, that's all the way across town.
Yeah, no,
I'm not.
And by across town, you're like 4 blocks.
4 blocks, but you're like, oh, I don't want to run to that right now.
4 blocks.
And you're like, oh, what else? Oh, and this thing, I was only mild about that. I don't care.
Exactly.
I'm drinking with you guys. It's fine.
Exactly.
I'll do the thing at 7 o'clock, and that's fine.
So yes, but I would like to do some of the photo shoots this year. I agree. All right, let's as we get into the final 15 minutes of our program, let's do another thing we made. Shall we?
Then.
Let's do that. The best little Pee-wee's Playhouse in Texas will not be seen tonight to bring you the rest of Bill Has Opinions. I gotta put that up again because I just want you to see that.
Oh.
I'm so proud of myself. Did you see it?
Because I asked you to put Pateri in it.
Oh yeah, you gotta put Terry. Absolutely. I was gonna put more characters in it too, but then it just got too much, so I did not. But at some point you need to edit, right?
It's fair.
But I absolutely love that. I'm very pleased with that. So
that's my impression of the fish.
yes. I wanted to put Zombie in it, but I just couldn't make it.
Did somebody say wish?
I couldn't make it fit in the milieu.
No, that's crazy.
I couldn't.
Yeah,
do
Zombie wouldn't fit in that. No.
But speaking of Zombie, controversial guests was the other subject we wanted.
Oh, is
to mention.
Zombie controversial?
Well, I mean, other than he's a genie, but Healy was for a little while.
Oh, he was
as we were very
for a minute. Okay.
we were very upset that Paul Rubens was a human being that did a lewd thing in a movie theater.
I mean, people are complicated and frail, you know.
Well, and the truth is, so here's the thing about PB. I mean, he's dead. May we mourn his life and may his remembrance be a blessing. But Paul Rubens, like Pee-wee, it wasn't really intended to be a children's show. It just became
some
one.
fucking suit from NBC or somebody. I don't remember which. It might have been ABC. I don't know. One of those channels saw him and was like, "We can develop this thing," but if you'd seen any of the previous, like like
he was an adult comedian.
He was an adult comedian, and the Pee Wee show had been a lewd show.
Right.
I remember watching one of the original Pee Wee shows, not the Playhouse, where Jambi was wishing for hands for a reason.
Yes.
You know? So, you know, I'm like, and Miss Elaine, was it Miss Elaine? Was that her name?
Yeah.
Oh, she had a thing for Captain Carl. She like she would get like very, you know, oh my God, you know, like
well, and
hot bothered over Captain Carl.
Most of our viewers would remember this, but Cowboy Curtis was played by the incredible Shakespearean trained actor that is Lawrence Fishburne.
Yes.
Like, he played fucking Cowboy Curtis. I love him in so many things.
Oh God, I saw something the other day about I can't remember now what the guy who played King of Cartoons was from something back in the day. He had been in some, I don't know, like a blaxploitation. I think he was Blackula. Yeah, he was.
Oh yeah,
King of Cartoons was actually Blackula. Like, so yeah, the people who are on this thing. And if you watch the Christmas special, Jesus Christ!
Oh my God, the Christmas special! I watched it recently.
Yeah, like
oh my God,
Grace Jones.
Yes, the Grace Jones. That was the thing I watched.
I love Grace Jones. Anything with Grace Jones in it, I'm like, oh my God, this fucking, you know. I got to rewatch the movie Vamp,
right?
Because I told you I love vampire movies. But
sure.
I remember that one fondly, and I haven't seen it again yet. But I have it on my Tubi playlist because Tubi has every fucking. If you guys want to watch an old like horror or sci-fi movie that you remember fondly from your childhood, it's on Tubi. It's not on Hulu. It's not on Netflix. Any of those things you pay for, it's not on there. It's on Tubi. You're going to have to sit through some commercials, but you're going to get to watch your movie.
Well, and there's also new, like, weird movies on Tubi. Like,
oh, yeah. No, we saw this really great one called Uncle Peckerhead. It's about a guy who's a roadie for a punk band, and he turns into a demon at night. And you should watch Uncle Peckerhead because it's a great movie.
Well, and our friend of the show, Dan Pesta, has a movie. I believe it's called Chasing the Ghost.
It's on Tubi?
It's on Tubi.
I'll check it out.
You should. You should. It's yeah. We'll talk about it after the show.
Honest to God, yeah. I think our other friends of ours who are filmmakers
have had their
or if they don't, they should put shit on the Tubi because that's a good place for people to see it.
Absolutely. All right, we got off topic though.
Oh boy,
controversial guests. And this year, controversial guests are. Well, there was a big uproar because author Orson Scott Card is going to be at DragonCon, and frankly, he's like J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
He has made many anti-gay, homophobic,
and/or racist.
Well, he's not a good person.
He's not a great person.
But a lot of people, you know, I frankly, I'm surprised that DragonCon allowed him.
I am sort of shocked, actually. When I saw that he was coming, I was like, they didn't vet that, huh?
Yeah,
because you know, I mentioned some of the other people who are also this kind of controversial,
which have
and they typically just don't come up, like
or they don't get invited back.
Right, exactly, because they know the kind of controversy it's going to create.
Exactly. That was in years past Adam Baldwin,
right,
from Firefly. And Kevin Sorbo, who I met at DragonCon like 16 years ago.
Right.
He was a nice guy, except apparently he's
not really.
Not really, right? Like we had
really nice enough as long as you're, you know, it outwardly like appearing to be something.
Yeah, we were talking about Xena and Hercules, and he was. I mean, well, like we had a long conversation with them.
But they didn't talk to Xena anymore either, though. You know.
That's true. And that conversation was because. You know, my best friend was dressed as Xena and also had done the art for the Hercules and Xena.
Right.
So that's why we got into a conversation. Like,
got you.
She's like, I work for this company. And he's like, oh, yeah, because he was very familiar because they released it. Anyway, he seemed nice. And then, like, 2 years later, I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, he's just posting horrible shit on the internet. And you're like, oh, my God, this fucking guy.
So I've had several friends post about, you know, that Orson Scott Card was invited. Mm-hmm. And I said my wish for it, which is because people are fickle. It's probably not going to happen. I would love if literally nobody went to any of his events, any of his signings, nothing. It was just him
What
in an empty
is he
room.
doing a panel at all?
I don't remember if he's doing a panel. I know he's doing a reading and he's doing signings.
It'd be nice if he did a panel and the entire panel was confrontational.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. Hey, excuse me. I'm sorry, sir. How do you justify?
Exactly. The problem is people are fickle, and I mean, we're incredibly progressive.
Sure.
Most of our friends are incredibly progressive, but the geek community is very varied.
It is.
So there are definitely people that are there, and you would hope that they weren't, but sorry, they are. That are have a similar stance.
Oh, sure, yeah. There's going to be some. Yeah, he'll get some neckbeards in the audience, and it'll be just fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Look, I honestly, I think I may have read Ender's Game. I may have read it once a long time ago.
I did. I read Ender's Game. I wasn't so enamored with Ender's Game that I read the entire series.
Right.
A lot of friends of mine read the entire series and then told me, "Oh yeah, well this one's good, and then this one's also good, and this one was good, but you got to read them all so you get to this one." And and I'll be honest with you, I'm the kind of person where like when people tell me some shit like, "Hey, this show gets good after the first season," I'm like, "Well, I'm not going to watch it then." Because I'm not sitting through a season of something in order to enjoy a show,
Sometimes I will tell people to skip.
Okay.
Like if it really is, the first season's not great, I'm like, read like an online synopsis
of it.
the first season and just go with the second.
I finally have come to that. For ages, I used to tell my wife that you needed to see Encounter at Farpoint because I felt like there was some character development in it, but I was like, you know what? No, you know what you should do? You should watch YouTube highlights of Encounter at Farpoint
and then start the
next episode.
Absolutely.
Because Encounter at Farpoint is tedious as fuck.
Oh God, yes.
It is so
I am surprised that show got picked up.
Right? Like any executive who watched that and said, yeah, why not? Let's greenlight. Like there must have been nothing on in 1989 or whatever the fuck. Whenever
there was, I actually watched a documentary about how it all came together, and it's really fascinating. But yeah, I mean,
the answer is everything was shit right then, and they were like, I guess this will do.
Exactly.
We'll run it for a season and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean that's a good part of it.
I mean, honestly, it wasn't running prime time or anything. It was coming on like 4 PM on Sunday.
True. True.
So like we're not doing anything except showing like an old movie while some guy comes on every now and again interrupt you about vinyl siding or something.
Exactly.
So
Con Crunch, what do you have left to do before we're both leaving on Wednesday morning?
Yeah, I think I'm finished. I'm good now. I mean, I got some minor packing to do.
Yeah, you got to get everything in one place.
Right, but other than that, no. I mean, I don't have anything to finish. I don't have any projects on the table, if that's what you're asking.
A lot of people started new cosplays this past weekend.
I've seen so many of it. Like people are like, I got 3 days left. I'm going to start a new thing. I'm like, what the fuck are you starting? Like, what even got into your head that like, oh, I should do another thing? Like
that's why I like now doing costumes that aren't necessarily the most popular because I'm like, I have an idea for something. Let's do it next year.
Right.
Because it doesn't matter if we wait.
No, I got some stuff. I got some ideas rolling around in my head for next year now.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. Yeah.
I've got a group costume that I will talk about it. I think most of us are in.
Oh, are we? Have we talked about it?
Yeah, we've talked about it. We'll talk about it again at DragonCon because but it was an idea I had like 6 months ago, and I said I floated it out there like, hey, who wants to do this for 2025?
Okay.
Because it was too late. I had already.
Well, like you said, I mentioned to you, like, I noticed your enthusiasm about the musical theater track, and I thought, hey, next year I should get a musical theater costume.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking about it. I actually started thinking about it today, and I was like, okay. And I was looking at T-Bird jackets.
Nice.
That's the lowest common denominator, really.
Yeah, it's easy.
That's easy.
It's easy.
Oh, it is easy. It is easy, but that's low-lying fruit. And then I started thinking, oh, I could do something from Les Mis. Oh, I could actually put together a Les Mis costume tomorrow.
Sure.
Like, I could grab shit out of my closet and be a character from Les Mis. You know what I mean?
Right.
But nobody would get it. They would not. They would be like, I don't know what you're trying to. And I'd be like, oh, who's the guy who sings the little a little bit of rain or whatever with the Eponine.
That's Marius.
Marius. That I could put together a Marius tomorrow, but no one would recognize me.
Ha! I mean,
They'd be like, "What are you, a pirate? A
General-
vampire?"
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly correct. But yeah, we're doing. That's why we went with. Well, first of all, Haiti, Les Mis was my favorite.
I should do
musical.
something on Marius, and I could either be a vampire or
That's true. You actually could, because Marius is
the vampire who made
Yeah.
Armand and
absolutely.
Lestat.
Yeah.
I could be Marius and or Marius in the same outfit.
You really, really could.
All I have to do is wear a waistcoat and a flowy shirt.
So what are you looking forward to, though? We have a couple of minutes that you can give us what you're most looking forward to.
You know, it's funny because I don't really. To me, it's always just about the gestalt. Really,
It's the friends you make along the way.
It is really. I'm there to hang out with my buddies and not anything else. Like everything else is extracurricular to me. If I go to a photo shoot, if I take in a panel that I love, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna love it beforehand. I never know. I also don't know if I'm even going. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
they're on the schedule, but am I going to show up? I
Right.
don't fucking know.
And there are often times where I'm like, what? Nah, not doing
Yeah,
that.
so that happens a lot. There was 1 year, 2 years ago, I think I didn't go to a single fucking panel the entire con, and I didn't really feel like I missed out.
Right.
I was like,
Absolutely.
Whatever. I had a good
Well,
time.
there's also parties. There's also
Right.
just hanging out at the in the main
Yeah,
hotel.
we do all the things. You know, there's more than enough stuff going on that I never feel shitty, regardless of what I get or don't get.
More than enough.
You know, we used to say we try to do one new thing every year, right? Like,
Right. We have. Well, frankly, you are, because you're doing the Infinite Riker games.
okay, I've never done that. Yeah.
And we're all going to go watch you. And
Okay.
we've also all
So,
never done
okay,
that.
there you go.
So
So we're all doing that for the
Yes.
first time.
I'm done with that. So this year, I think the thing I'm most looking forward to, as I mentioned, I'm doing a panel.
Yes.
I'm
yes.
on the panel for Anna and the Apocalypse, which is at 7 p.m. on Friday in the West End. So come check it out for the Apocalypse Rising track in partnership with the unofficial theater track.
Right.
So I'm very, very excited about that. I'm excited about the Infinite Riker games. I'm excited about some photo shoots.
Yeah.
I think that's great. And then otherwise, it's just whatever the fuck happens, happens.
Yeah.
That's what I'm excited about. I mean, I have a bunch of other things on my schedule, but will I go to them? We'll see.
That's what I'm saying. Like I have a devil may care attitude about whatever happens because
I mean, yeah.
I no longer get there are people I know who get excited about, oh, is this celebrity coming? I'm going to go to their big panel or whatever. I don't even give a shit. Like celebrities, they're like a bonus. If and because then I don't go out of my way to get into those panels because those are a headache to get into. And so sometimes you like slip into one and you're like, oh, I had a good time. It was great. I'm glad
I'll do
I
that
went.
too. Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm not going to like queue up around the block for.
Ooh, the other thing I'm excited about, which I don't know because you haven't watched it, but there's from the Strange New Worlds Star Trek. They had a musical episode last season.
Oh yeah, I heard that. Yeah,
and there's a performance, like Shadowcast style performance, like Rocky Horror performance sing along. I'm very, very excited.
I'm really shocked that you would go to something like
that. Are you excited? Are you shocked? We're dressing in our Strange New Worlds costumes for that, and it's right before my panel.
Okay.
So I'm going to be in my Strange New Worlds costume for my panel
about you were going to dress up as a character out of that, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, I wasn't going to dress up as Anna in the Apocalypse anyways, so it doesn't matter. But all right, so I guess we should probably go because Bill has pizza. We got to go eat it. But we got a couple last things to share with you.
Also, yes.
So let's go with this.
Interview with the Empire will not be seen tonight. To bring you this last minute or two of Bill has opinions.
I was very amused when you sent this one to me. You just sent it as an idea.
I know. It's just like, hey, here's a thing.
Yeah, you were like, I don't know, interview with the Empire, and I'm like, yes, that. The one thing I wish I did was put little fangs on them.
Okay.
I may update it. Not that we use these again in the future, but I may update it.
Just send it to the actual Dragon Con.
Yeah, with fangs. Yeah.
Okay.
When I do that, I have to take off our logo though.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Keep putting our logo where
everywhere.
Where people are staying. right? Like,
here and there.
who's saying it? Is somebody saying it?
Oh yeah,
Everybody's
there we
saying
go.
it.
Everybody's saying their own opinions.
Everybody's saying it. All right, so we got one more thing to share with you before we close out the episode. So enjoy. I'm all by myself, but no, here it comes. Here it comes. Hi. So yeah, that was our final bumper for the season, and we're about to get ready to go to Dragon Cons. So you actually won't see us for 2 weeks. We're
Unless
off.
you see us there.
Unless you see us there, which you should. But we're off for the next 2 weeks.
Right.
And so why don't you take us away?
All righty. Bill Has Opinions is engineered and produced by Laura Lavoie. The opinions of Bill are his and his alone, unless they agree, which they pretty much did this week, or vice versa if they didn't agree. You know what I mean. Anyways, be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, #OpinionGang and/or Can't Miss Bill Shit. Be sure to buy some merchandise, which will buy us a camera that'll make this look a little bit better, I guess. Is that the idea?
At least a little. Yeah. I mean,
conceivably.
Conceivably.
Anyways.
I mean, it doesn't look too shitty, to be fair, but it would look better.
It could stay shitty if you don't buy the merchandise.
It can stay shitty, my lord. Exactly.
Anyways, also be sure to tune back in several weeks from now when we come back. And we'll talk about some other thing.
We will. And if you see us at Dragon Con, we'll have we've got some stickers, we've got some ribbons.
Oh yeah, we got all the things.
So we would love to see you at Dragon Con. And but otherwise we'll see you in like 3 weeks or so.
Yeah.
Bye everybody.